Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're completely tearing down the mythology of greatness. We're going to look at the raw, unfiltered psychology behind monumental comebacks. We're digging into what actually happens in the human mind when everything is on the line, the odds are flat out impossible, and quitting seems like the only logical option. Picture this scene for a second. Boxer Vinny Pazienza had just suffered 2 fractured cervical vertebrae, partial paralysis. His doctor looks him right in the eye, actually tearing up, and delivers the absolute worst news. His career is over. But Vinny's response? He just says, "No, Dr. Carter, you're wrong. I am going to box again." He straight up told the doctor he'd either box again or die trying. And you know what? 13 months later, he was back in the ring and eventually won 3 titles. This perfectly sets up our core premise today. True success and resilience, they don't start when the bell rings. They start internally in your darkest moments with pure, unfiltered defiance. All right, section 1, the spark of defiance. Let's talk about fueling the journey. Entrepreneur Sean Puri pointed out this really harsh truth about human nature. He said cynics get to be right 99% of the time. Because think about it, it is incredibly easy and super comfortable to look at a massive, crazy goal and just say, yeah, that's going to fail. And honestly, most of the time those cynics are right. But the optimist, the person who actually believes it can happen, they might be wrong over and over again. They might look totally foolish. They might fail 9 times in a row while the cynics sit back and say, I told you so. But the optimist is the one who eventually wins the big one at the end. Defiance literally means being willing to look wrong 100 times just so you can be right when it actually counts. It's really an internal battleground. If you let your focus stay stuck in the past, you're going to be controlled by fear. Specifically, the fear of repeating your old mistakes. If you focus too much on the future, you become completely controlled by anxiety about what might happen. But if you can shift that focus entirely onto yourself and the present moment, that's where you find peace. And you absolutely need that peace. Why? Because that is the only headspace where the real, grueling work actually gets done. You're never going to build a legacy if you're constantly obsessing over past failures. Moving right along to section 2, the habit of excellence. It's all about daily discipline. Behind all the public glamour of success, we find mind-blowing numbers, like 2.52 million. Now, that's not dollars. That represents the estimated number of practice shots Steph Curry has taken over a 15-year career. When we see him hit a half-court shot, turn around, and casually wave to the crowd before the ball even goes through the hoop, we call it a magic gift, right? We say he's just unbelievable. But let's break down the literal math of greatness. Step 1, the daily reps. Shoot 500 shots every single day, never less than that 7 days a week. Step 2, the annual total. That accumulates to 168,000 shots in just a single year. And step 3, the public reward. You get rewarded in public for what you relentlessly practice in private. Excellence is absolutely not an accident. It's an unrelenting daily habit. As the source material points out so well, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Whatever you repeatedly do every single day, that is exactly what you become. But let's be real, maintaining that kind of extreme discipline requires a profound internal why. After Kobe Bryant passed away, his wife Vanessa shared this beautifully raw story about why he would constantly play through excruciating injuries. He told her, "I do it because someone has saved up to watch me play." He wasn't just out there chasing rings. He had this deep emotional anchor tied directly to the people showing up for him. If you want to sustain the habit of excellence, your reason for doing it has to be infinitely bigger than your excuses for quitting. Which brings us to section 3, mastering the fear. What happens under pressure? The absolute crucial point here is that we need to redefine what confidence actually means. People tend to think confidence is just a personality trait or like this magical absence of fear. It's totally not. Confidence is simply knowing you have what you need in order to succeed. And that knowledge is built entirely through relentless preparation. If you don't have confidence, it's honestly like having $1 million in a bank account but no way to actually access it. You're never going to reach your full potential. Think about the exact mental loop that elite fighters and top-tier entrepreneurs use. Step 1, extreme preparation. You put in so much practice that you physically know the process inside and out. Step 2, unshakable confidence. This is born directly from that first step. Then step 3, action despite fear. There is absolutely no shame in admitting you're afraid because, hey, there's no courage without fear. You embrace the fear, but because of all that preparation, moving forward is your only real option. You march forward anyway. Just look at Muhammad Ali preparing to fight George Foreman. Foreman was so vicious that Ali's own father was literally crying before the fight, absolutely terrified Ali was going to be killed.
Common logic and reasoning told everyone Ollie couldn't possibly win, but Ollie's perspective? Entirely different. He believed his superior preparation elevated him completely above common logic. When other people looked at the fight, they saw supreme danger based on their own limitations. But Ollie said, "I'm in such a high level until I don't think like you. It's not really that dangerous to me." Superior preparation quite literally changes your perception of reality and risk.
And finally, Section 4, the last 5%, securing the legacy. Okay, this is the climax, and honestly, the harshest reality check of this entire explainer. You can put in the years of practice, you can build up all that confidence, but there is only a specific window of opportunity for success. Taking that final 5% distance, it's going to be incredibly scary. It's going to drive you to the ground. You will fail along the way. But if you don't take that leap, you are going to spend the rest of your life watching opportunity knock on somebody else's door. You'll have to sit back and watch someone else become the exact person you could have been. And man, that is the ultimate pain of regret. So to make sure you actually take that leap, the sources lay out 3 foundational, totally non-negotiable rules for sustaining greatness over a lifetime. Number 1, live with character. Be the person who gets back up when you fail. Number 2, live with honor. Do the right thing, especially in the dark when absolutely nobody is watching. And number 3, live with discipline. Choose what you need to do to accomplish your vision over what you merely feel like doing in the moment. Live by these 3 rules, and your goals and your dreams, they're going to get accomplished. So I want to leave you with this lingering question. What protects your legacy? Everything we've covered today, defying the cynics, the daily habit of 500 shots, reframing fear through extreme preparation, and having the sheer guts to take that last 5%. This is the blueprint. But a blueprint only matters if you actually build the house. The structure you use to orient your life depends entirely on your daily choices. So, how are you going to apply this to your own life today? What choice are you making right now to protect your legacy? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now go put in the work.